Bulavi, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I go by the name Tane, and for all my returning subbies, Dintang Bulavi. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this gorgeous simple day look in under 30 minutes. However, disclaimer, I do apologize for the lighting and the camera angle. I literally just discovered that I should have been using this angle to shoot the video. However, I do hope that everything is still clear and you guys can still see all the steps that I did, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I'm gonna start with using sunscreen on my face. So obviously when I'm doing this, I've done my skincare routine and I'm just putting on sunscreen. I don't usually put on primer, I just put on sunscreen on my face. And then next step, I'm going to brush my eyebrows up. I don't usually fill in my eyebrows before I conceal them, so after brushing them up, I'm going to conceal my eyebrows underneath. So I use a flat brush and the LA Girl concealer. I'm using the shade Warm Honey. So as I'm applying the concealer, I am dragging it down to blend it properly, and then once I'm done, I go back again with my spoolie, brush it up, and then I'm gonna go on and fill in my brows once I feel like I've got my desired shape underneath the brows. So to fill in my brows, I'm gonna be using this smudge eyeliner pencil. I just fill in where I feel like there's no hair. I don't fill in my entire brow because I am looking for a natural, almost feathered like brow. So I only fill in where I feel like there's not enough hair, just for it to have some depth. So when I'm done to conceal my eyebrows on the top, I'm going to be using my foundation, which is the Maybelline Super Foundation in the shade 64 Chestnut. So when I'm concealing, I don't conceal close to my eyebrows, right? So I start applying the product a bit further from where I'd like my eyebrows to be concealed, and then I drag it down so that it's easier to blend. So I apply it further and then I drag it down to where I'd like my eyebrows to be concealed. Then when I'm done, I go back in again with my LA Girl Pro Concealer to use it as my eyeshadow base, as my eyeshadow primer. So I'm just gonna spread that around, and then we're ready for eyeshadow. So I'm gonna be using the Maybelline palette, Countdown palette, and then the first shade is a purple shade, and I'm gonna be using a very fluffy brush to put that on my crease, and then I'm just gonna blend it out nice and slowly. So as I'm putting it on, I'm also blending it out. So I put it on flat, I pat it on, and then after patting it on, I blend it out with the same brush in slow circular motions, very lightly, very smoothly. That's how I blend out my eyeshadow. And then baby girl decided that she's gonna use that color to do sort of like a cut crease, but not really a cut crease. And as we can see, that color was an epic fail. So I tried and I was not getting what I wanted from the color. So I was using a flat, it's not really a flat brush, it's a flat fluffy brush. So it's flat but it's also fluffy. So then I moved to my next eyeshadow palette and used the purple shade because I wasn't getting the color that I wanted from the first eyeshadow color. So now I'm using a purple. I'm just slightly moving it, dabbing it, and ciao, I'm getting what I wanted. It's not a cut crease, however, I am trying to create that. And then since the eyeshadow moved all over the place as I was applying it, I go back with the brush I used on to put it on my first color. I don't dab it back into the eyeshadow. I just use the brush as it is to try and blend out any harsh lines and clean up any shimmer shades, because the purple shade was quite messy. So when I'm done, I just clean my under eyes for any excess eyeshadow fall off, and we are now going to the eyeliner. Honestly, there's no formula for this one. Every day is a different eyeliner look. I just do whatever my hand allows me to do. Today I wasn't going for a very hectic or very, what's this word? I wasn't going for a very dramatic eyeliner look. And then I put on my eyelashes. I use the Essence eyelash glue. Most of the products that I'm using here, you guys can see them in my previous video where I talked about my top 10 makeup products. So before I put on my lashes, I put on mascara. Some do it after, but after all, guys, when it comes to makeup, each to their own. Whatever works for you, that's what you go on. That's what you go with. So here you can't see, but I was trying to put on my eyelashes on camera, but the angle was not angling, the mirror was not mirroring. But yeah, so if you can see, I still have some white glue on my lashes. That's because the glue that I'm using is clear, so I do put on a lot of glue and it sometimes go on my eyeshadow, but I have no worries because it is clear. So next up, it's foundation. And for that, I'm going to be using a brush to apply foundation. I'm using a brush from Real Techniques. I forgot what this brush is called. However, I'm in love with the brush. I am so in love with this brush. I use it all the time for my foundation, and yeah. So I make sure that everything is blended, and then I move on to my concealer. I am going to be using 2 shades of concealer. So I'm using the warm honey, and then I'm going to be using the medium beige. So I'm applying using the same brush I used to shape my brows. That's the brush that I'm using to apply my concealer. And then I'm going to be using an oval brush. This is the smallest size that I have. I just find that it's easier to move the product with this brush than it is with the sponge. So sometimes I prefer using this one and sometimes I prefer using the sponge. It just depends on how much product I have on my face. As you can see right now, I don't really have much concealer on my face. It's just small because I wasn't looking for anything dramatic. I wasn't looking for anything that's gonna pop out. So hence I'm using this brush. However, if you prefer a brush, like I said, if you prefer a sponge, like I said, each to their own. And yeah, this brush is really small, so I'm able to conceal properly under my eye with no problems. It doesn't go into my eye. I don't flinch a lot, and yeah, I really do enjoy using this brush. It's an oval brush I got from Discount years ago, so I don't remember anything about it. So once I feel like that's blended in, I then move on to setting powder. So I'm using the Yardley translucent setting powder, and then I'm gonna set it using a flat foundation brush. So for this video, I said strictly no sponges. Hence I'm using a brush again to set my setting powder. I'm not seeing the difference between this and a sponge. It works the same for me. I'm patting the powder in. I'm not trying to bake, because if I bake, I turn into a cake. So I'm not trying to bake. I'm just trying to set it in. I'm patting it in so that it blends with the foundation and everything. And then next up, I'm going on with contouring. I'm using a very big brush for contouring, and it's going to be the same brush that I'm going to use for my blush and a little bit of my highlighter. I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. So I contour my cheekbones and then I contour my nose. For my nose, I do use a smaller brush than I used to contour my cheekbones. It looks big, but it's not that big. It really isn't that big. And the contour shade isn't really that dark, so it doesn't give me the deep contoured effect. And then I'm going on with my blush. For this blush, I think I was using an eyeshadow color, so I don't really have any specific favorites when it comes to blush. And then next step, I'm putting on my highlighter. I'm using a highlighter brush from Real Techniques also, so I'm just dabbing it on, putting it on, trying to blend it so that it does not seem like I'm putting it a lot. And then I put on the bridge of my nose and at the tip of my nose. And once I'm done with my highlighter and I feel like my face is ready to be set, I then apply setting spray. Guys, when it comes to setting spray, please don't apply it if you're not done with your makeup, because there's not much you can do after putting on your setting spray. Your makeup can't move. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the final look. I did add on some beauty spots, and that's it. I hope you guys learned something from the video, enjoyed it, and comment down below if you have any questions. And bye.